Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm glad all you guys are doing good. So before I came up here, I heard a lot of talk about money and all the money that goes towards AmeriCorps and everything like that. So let me give you a little talk about what the money's doing. So I didn't have the greatest start. My name's Ryan Shelton, start off. I'm 23 years old. I didn't have the greatest start in life. I was in foster care group home when I was younger. And due to those circumstances, kind of propelled me into the streets and the negative influence of my community. By age 19, I was incarcerated for the second time, but this time I was facing 6 years in prison. Thank God he had other plans for me, and I ended up getting sentenced to about a year. So after I got sentenced to that year, the time I spent incarcerated was extremely hard, the violence, the racial riots, the feelings of hopelessness, but I just stayed focused on what I was gonna do when I got out. So one thing I did to keep my mind frame and keep me focused on what I was gonna do when I got out was I joined classes. And one of the classes they had was called Back on Track. And that class, Back on Track, taught inmates how to navigate the employment field with all the felonies we were gonna have in our record when we got out. So when I was in that class, it was really a light in a dark tunnel for me. You know, being in jail, it was really hard. It was a lot of emotions I went through. And I remember I would come back to my cell after that class, and I had this little piece of paper that was right there on the top of my bunk. And I would look at that little piece of paper, and it had all my goals written down on it. And every day and every night when I would wake up to those goals, it reminded me of who I was and the person and the man I wanted to be when I got out. I knew I had made a mistake, but I knew I wasn't a bad person. So, thank you. So a couple weeks before I'm about to get released, I talked to my instructor, and she gave me a couple options, you know, a couple temp agencies to go to, but she also told me about Conservation Corps and AmeriCorps. So I remember when I got out, I applied for Conservation Corps, and about 2 weeks later, I had my uniform on, AmeriCorps symbol on the side. I felt good and everything, and I started working. But one thing I noticed when I started working is it wasn't just the work. It was the community, the positive community that I had around me that was really changing me. It was the first time I was in a situation to where I didn't have to hide my felonies. I didn't have to hide who I was. I could openly talk about those things with my supervisors, and they gave me advice, and they said, you know what, you can do this, man. Don't worry about it. You can do it. So with those words, I slowly broke down the walls and the doubts that I had within myself. And once I broke down those walls, I really started thinking. I started thinking about my case, and I said, you know, I'm on probation, and I haven't done anything wrong. If I make all these payments, I think that I can actually get off. So I started doing my research. I knew I didn't do anything wrong. If I made all these payments and I just stayed on the right track, I knew I could be able to turn things around. So in the midst of me having those ideas about turning things around, Conservation Corps actually had a training for solar. So I didn't know anything about solar. Raised my hand. I was first one to do it. It was the first cohort, the first time they ever had it. And I just remember solar and me just really stuck. I loved the work. I loved what I was doing. And I remember, wow, this could really be a career for me. And I was shocked. You know, I had found a career, not only a job, but a career. A little bit after I had got that career, really got into solar, March 27, 2018, I went to court. And when I went to court, I finally got my record expunged and I got my probation terminated. So I joined Conservation Corps in 2017. This was March 2018. And just that little bit of time, I got out of jail, I had a career, and now I have my record expunged, probation terminated, and I can really go forward with my life. So, yeah. So thank you guys, and also I kept pushing forward. Like I said, the positive community really helped me break down those walls, so I just kept pushing forward, and I also started thinking, you know, why can't I go to school? You know, they said I was a felon. They said I couldn't get off probation, I couldn't do that. So I kept pushing myself forward, and now I'm enrolled at LA Trade Tech for electrical construction and maintenance. I'll be graduating 2021, spring next year. Now I am an electrical apprentice at Zero Solar. I make about $20 an hour. I have 2 mentees as well that I also got into solar and construction. So the money and the positivity in the community, the things that you guys have poured into us has not only helped me, but I've been able to help my friends as well. It goes deeper than just one person. It's a ripple effect with each Conservation Corps member that you guys touch. So just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate the opportunity to speak, and thank you.